Bad wives assemble, here we go. Kirsha, Sophie's on the mic. Bad wives here, let's begin. Stories, laughs, and all the tea. Kirsha, Sophie, you and me. Every week a brand new tale. Bad wives groove, you can't fail.
Hello and welcome back to Padwives Assemble.
Whoop, whoop.
As always, this episode is brought to you in collaboration with JJ's Brecon.
Using Padwives 10 for 10% discount.
So, in last week's episode, we covered navigating a career as a milspo.
Yes.
Milspo. It's like a hashtag on TikTok. That's where I found it.
Oh yeah, I have seen that on TikTok.
Milspo.
Yeah, milspo.
So yeah, and this week a little bit different. Very different. Bit taboo.
Yeah, I am excited for this because it is such a kind of
Controversial.
It's controversial, but it's also like people's personal opinions, isn't it? And that can be
there's no right or wrong answer.
No.
To be honest.
No. It's about people's boundaries, what their
what they're
are.
comfortable with.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are discussing, what do you consider cheating in a relationship? So many people wrote in.
Many.
And do you know what? A lot of it was the same. Similar.
Yes.
And very exciting. Emily Caddy from Start Point Relationship Counselling shedding some light on cheating in relationships. So I think that's going to be really useful for a lot of people. A lot of people.
It is. I mean, like we said earlier, it's all on, like, there's the
boundaries
obvious,
and perception.
There is the obvious.
If you're shagging someone, you're cheating.
If you're dipping your wick or, there's penetration elsewhere, that's cheating. That's not just about,
and lads, I hate to break it to you, but even if it's just the tip, it still counts.
Yeah.
You're wet, ya willy. Anyway, so we are discussing that, and we have a lot of people who have messaged in. We have a lot of different avenues, and of course the wonderful Emily from Start Point Counselling. So let's have a quick debrief. Debrief. Woo! That was a conga, wasn't it?
It was the conga.
Was the conga. Ooh, it's. Do you know what? Every week it's like
Big summer blowout.
Yoo-hoo. Big summer blowout. It's like a little what song's it going to be sung in this week? What have you been up to? / what have you got going on? Because obviously we were in Brecon that we spoke about in last week's episode.
I have it's going to be the same as it is all the time.
I've been working.
I haven't really done. Okay, so, I'm in the market for a new mattress, as I said last week. So... So
why I had to be part of the testing for the mattress, but we move.
Quite part of the testing. That's not.
We're cheating. That is cheating. I wasn't part of the testing, but I was privy to it. Is that
now makes it sound like you watch Reason?
I did, though, Kirsha. I did watch. I was next to you. I felt the movement of the mattress. And then I got the image of, I'm just checking for Reese's capability on this. And I was like, great, that's a brilliant image. Thank you.
So, come this weekend, pardon the pun, I am...
This is such a different episode to last week. It's so funny.
I'm going to have so much fun on this episode. So, I am no longer going to be in the market for a new mattress. We're getting a new bed. And we're getting a new mattress.
Why am I just hearing about this?
Because you just asked the question.
This is normally the stuff you call me about.
No, so, yeah.
Are you friend cheating on me?
What, with my husband? Yeah.
Well, something needs to change. What bed did you get? Did you get the same one as me? Because you were going to get that one.
No, I'm getting it. I'm guessing it this weekend. So I'm buying it this weekend.
Oh, what one have you chosen? Is it the same one?
No, it's not the same one because
It's something cracking is about to come out.
Taller headboard.
What, so you can cling on?
But I prefer a bigger headboard.
Okay.
So We're getting one, but it is still the blue
The
blue
boucle. The
boucle.
boucle.
Yes,
Boucle.
but with a higher headboard.
Oh, nice. You need to send me a pic. Where are you getting it from?
It's still dusk. Yeah.
Oh, I want to see it. I think it's the one that I wanted. Exciting. And you're going to get a new mattress as well?
Yes.
I've heard Sophie swears by Sophie, not me, my friend Sophie swears by the Emma mattress. She got hers off Woucher.
Yeah. See, the problem is Reese likes Reese likes a hard mattress.
Yeah.
I like the ones you can kind of stum in with a
Okay.
little bit of bounce.
Right.
But like he will quite happy. Like his mattress taste is like the floor.
Tastes the floor.
No, his mattress taste is the floor. You know, like
right,
that
okay.
hard.
Ugh. That's a military thing,
Yeah.
because Josh likes a hard mattress, and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. And Reese's logic to this was, oh, why don't we get a mattress where one side is hard, one side is the one you like?
Do they exist?
And they do exist, but they're probably like over $1,000.
Yeah.
Not about to do that.
No.
So I was gonna go for Simba, but
Oh yeah, that's similar to Emma, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
but if Sophie's saying Emma's good, I might go for the Emma one.
Have
then.
a look on Woucher,
Okay.
because that's where she got hers from. And she literally I guarantee I'm seeing her tomorrow. I guarantee she'll bring up her mattress. Because you'll mention something, she'll be like, I love Emma. My mattress is really good. So, we had that exciting meeting with Combat Stress.
Yes.
Which is great for our TV series, which is all over our socials if you haven't seen already.
She was lovely as well.
Yeah, or check out our website. The information form is on there. We could probably update it with more information now, actually, on there.
Yeah, we can.
I got invited to I got invited to 2 influencer events this week, which I'm really excited about. So Sophs and I are off tomorrow to Birmingham, and we're going to a skincare launch held at Tonight Josephine.
That's going to be
Which one I
insane.
love, Tonight Josephine.
Yeah.
I've obviously haven't been to the Birmingham one. I've been to the London one, and I love it. And they've got an open bar, champagne reception, photo booth, freebies, and obviously just like a launch of their unreleased product, which
That's gonna be
is
so fun.
I don't know. Have you heard of it? Canzen?
Yeah, I've got their
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've got their I think it's antibacterial skin spray.
Yeah, so that's their viral product, isn't it? I'm not gonna lie, I hadn't heard of them.
Yeah, no, it is really good because I saw it all over TikTok.
So this one is a Hydra Shot, like the Hydra Shot acne
Okay.
balm thing. So I'll see. I'll try and grab you at something.
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
So yeah, we're off there, and we've just got a hotel. You're having my doggos. Thank you. And then on Wednesday, I'm off to Westfield with Charlotte. I did invite you to this as well, but you aired me. You didn't respond. I sent you the invite, and you just didn't reply.
I didn't even see that you sent.
Well,
me
you
something.
snooze, you lose, bitch.
Sorry.
Yeah, Charlotte and I are off to Moonshot. Yeah, so you are invited to eat, drink, and play. You're invited to an exclusive Moonshot influencer event, an evening full of fun, food, and drink. So it's in Westfield, and it's basically an American baseball interactive thing.
That's cool.
So they have, it's basically, it's not open to the public, so it's just like content creators going, and we get, cocktails and food, and we get to play baseball.
That's so
It's
cool.
a bit like a golf range, but for baseball.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really excited.
That's going to be fun.
But then I was like, what the hell do you wear to that? Because I want to be, because some people will be like really fashionable, and that's not me. Like, I'm not like kind of creator, but like, I'm like, what do I wear? I was thinking of actually wearing this and like my
Probably
Veja
go in a
trainers.
baseball outfit, and then you're like,
Oh my God.
in.
Maybe a baseball hat.
Yes.
That's the vibe. I've
Yeah.
got my beige San Francisco one.
Go for like American kind of cowgirl baseball cap
I've got my
vibe.
racing t-shirt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. do
Yeah,
that.
like something like that with a baseball hat.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, thanks for that.
Welcome.
So yeah, off to there Westfield on Wednesday, which is great. And just been trying to survive the week, really. I started a new series which thank you, Lauren. If you don't follow her, it's Highlands Military Home Life. Or Lauren Whitaker or Lauren Highlands. She did activity a day while Daddy's away, and she was also on an episode 16. I was talking to her about, I was just like, oh, I've just kind of fallen out of the thing. I don't know what to say, because I love my cleaning vids and all that kind of stuff, and talking about the military side of things, but I just didn't know. I'd kind of lost my mojo a bit since Christmas, and I was like talking to her about Josh being away, and she was like, why don't you talk about that, because you're good at with the podcast and stuff, you're good at talking to the camera. And I was like, but is that really boring? She was like, you'll be surprised, like people actually want to know because they can relate to it more. So I've started actually from our new planner that's out, the deployment diaries. It's not really new, it's been out for ages, but I'm doing a deployment diaries, which is like a little FaceTime chat each day about different topics
And
of
I think people
surviving.
have loved it because it's so real as well.
It is doing well. Like, I spoke about the emotional roller coaster of the first night. You know, I wanted to talk about various different things. It's not just deployment related, but it's like me coping with deployment and stuff like that. So yeah, that's good. And yeah, people seem to like it, and it's nice for me to be able to get things off my chest that maybe I don't necessarily open up about, but I don't know why. I just do it to the world instead. But yeah, so that's good, but that's about it really. And then just working, you know, and back doing the podcast, which is exciting.
The thing is, like, I think people can relate to it as well, because the way you do it is, like you said, literally like a FaceTime.
Yeah, and it is literally how I would talk to my friends.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always wanted my page to kind of be about, is like talking to friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a little bit lonely, to be honest. I've been quite emotional. I've been sad, but not sad. And I think, again, it's the uncertainty. I haven't got like the exact date or month even of when Josh is coming back. Like, I just don't know. And I'm
the not knowing is hard.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself busy, really. That's that. Before I go off on a tangent and start waffling on, waffling on, let's get to it.
Let's get na 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 na.
So
get busy with
this
it.
is
Sorry.
Get busy with it. This is things that you guys put on the Q&A. So this is basically give your orders, but in the middle of it, because it relates to our topic. But also, I have a question
Jargon
that I see all the time. Is porn cheating?
Yes, I see this all the time.
Because, again, no right or wrong answer on this, because it's personal and it's based on your boundaries. But I see all the time about, you know, like, oh, I caught my husband watching porn, or my husband's always watching porn, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, whatever. To me, I don't consider that cheating. I couldn't care less.
I agree. I don't consider it cheating.
Unless he's watching some weird ass porn.
I mean,
bit different.
Well, right. So I don't consider...
You always know when Kirsha says, well, right, something's going to be good.
I don't consider porn cheating. Like, this is going to sound so weird and so like I'm contradicting myself, okay? But
Probably are.
I probably am. But I don't mind, like, watching porn on the phone, right? But just wait. VR headset.
Totally fucking different.
Thank
I agree.
you. Because you're like, when you see...
Well, have you seen all the stories about, like, a man that actually had, like, a relationship with... was that a film? Was that made up?
I don't know, but...
They, like, you can meet other people on there, and it's like a simulation, right? And you can have actual physical relationships. That is wrong.
Yeah, because what it was is, like, you can... There's a video that's on the internet of, like, someone walking into a bedroom, and the guy has got the VR headset on, and he's, like, literally... You know,
pumping.
No. He's like, you know, and
don't do this to me.
And like, but there's no one there.
It's a bit heavy for someone's Monday. He's literally like, Kiwi, yoo-hoo, big summer blowout.
But like, you know, he's actually mimicking, and like, it's just weird.
Why not just do it with your wife or your girlfriend or
Exactly.
your
Like,
partner?
but again, that could be the argument of porn. Why not just do it with your wife or your girlfriend?
Yeah.
If they're doing it in the house, when you're in the house,
Yeah.
it's a bit like, you're taking the piss a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't. And yes, and you can say about. I say you can say, like anyone can say anything because it's, again, your boundaries and
Mhm.
your perception of it. But to me, that is just not cheating.
No, it's not
I may not
cheating.
agree with it or be a bit like, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm.
But I don't think it's cheating.
No.
It's not like they're having a conversation with that person
No.
or they know that person. What, like if you're watching 50 Shades of Grey, what's
Mhm.
the difference?
And 365 days.
And Rivals
Yes. And Rivals, yes.
and Bridgerton.
Bridgerton,
Like, it's
yeah.
essentially, it's not porn, is it? It's very different. But
No.
you are still watching other people
Yes.
do the deed.
Yes. Like, I don't consider porn cheating at all. However,
I understand why some people do.
I do understand, like, because again, it's like boundaries, how they feel like.
And it also depends on the relation, like how the relationship is.
Yes. OnlyFans.
Ooh, this is
See.
controversial.
I do.
See, it's cheating.
Yes. Because
Okay.
in my opinion, and again, this is where I probably sound like I'm contradicting myself, but you're paying for a specific person that you are attracted to, and you can have conversations on OF as well.
Yeah, because
And
you can even, you have the ones that do like girlfriend talk.
Yeah, and you
That's
can do
cheating, yeah.
personalised videos as well. That, to me, because you're going out of your way to pay for but like freaking Pornhub is free, mate. You can just get fucking anyone on there.
Yeah.
But you can just trawl through and say, I fancy that today.
Is that based on your personal experience?
But
You didn't answer the question.
but on OnlyFans, you're specifically going out of your way to pay.
I know that porn is a real person, but that is essentially a real person. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can
it's
contact
more
them.
personal.
Yeah. Interesting. I'd love to know what you guys think on that.
Yeah.
On OnlyFans. But so we've got, oh my God, story time. I watched a Facebook reel, an Instagram reel, and it was a lady who ran a legal brothel. I thought brothels were illegal anyway. They are illegal, but
they're legal.
Oh, okay, right. She talked about running a legal brothel and how they had a man who was married who would come in every Friday because, wait for it. The intimacy wasn't there with his wife, but he loved his wife. He loves his wife, but they had just kind of, I don't know, they were in their 40s or 50s or something, and it just wasn't, the intimacy wasn't there. But he didn't want to leave her because he's in love with her, right? Anyways, he would come in every Friday, and then they were interviewing a lady for a job who was like, I want to do this because I want to push my boundaries and stuff, and I love my husband, but the intimacy's not there. I can only work Mondays, right? Husband and wife, and neither of them knew. And quite sometimes he'd be like, I need to change my day from Friday to Monday, and vice versa. She had to change it to Monday to Friday, and the boss obviously knew. But to keep their confidentiality and their relationship and stuff, they would just like be like, oh no, you can't come in this day, can you do this day instead? So they wouldn't clash and meet. And this went on for years. There wasn't an update with it. It was literally a reel. I'll try and find it. But I was like, whoa.
The fact that even could happen in such a close proximity as well.
They love each other. They'd been there for 20 years. But then it's like, why not have the conversation about why they're not intimate anymore?
Yeah, and this is another thing that I see quite a lot.
And this actually, sorry to interrupt, this leads on to what everyone's said, what they consider cheating.
Well, I've seen a lot of posts in the past with regards to what you've just said there, of the intimacy and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of posts in the past where people say, he's cheated on me, and obviously people wanting to make it work. And you do get some people comment and go, well, if he cheated on you, he doesn't love you.
But then also, like, Don't know. That's so hard.
Do you know what I mean? Like when I see those, because when the comments come up, like a lot of them are like straight away, flat off the bat, leave him. And then you've got other people that comment and go, do you want to make this work? Is he remorseful? So on and so forth. But then
I think as well, how long have they been together? What's going on in their relationship? What personal circumstances is he going through? What personal circumstances? And I'm not condoning cheating at all, because I'm not going to lie. I'd be like, bye-bye, thank you.
Yeah.
But I think people need, it's very easy for outsiders, or when people ask for advice on that, everyone to be like, fuck him off, like fuck them off. But that person seeking advice, they're in a vulnerable position. And I think that people would like, the people asking questions and asking those questions, although people would be like, why are you asking those? That's ridiculous.
Well, they do.
But it's not ridiculous, because she's asking for advice.
Yeah.
So people are trying to understand, like, and I don't think there is a way to understand cheating. Like, if you cheat, you cheat. But like, do you slip up on a drunken night out and have a cheeky kiss, which not acceptable by any means, but was that the case? Or did he out and shag multiple people?
Yeah.
Or has he had an affair?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's such a controversial and weird, and again personal.
Yeah.
Because I know people would be like, oh, if they cheated, I think I would just let it slide. Or some people who have let it slide.
Yeah.
And whereas I've been like, what the fuck are you doing? No. Like, but then it works.
Yeah.
It still can work.
Yeah.
If you can get past
behind
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, if you decide, right, you continue the relationship after someone's been unfaithful, I do think you either have to put that behind you. You can't then bring it up in every argument or anything like that, because you have essentially made that decision to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. It honestly, some of the stuff that you see and the comments on that sort of stuff it's so true. It's such a personal thing.
And there's no right or wrong thing, because it's your choice.
Yes.
It's not anyone else's choice.
No.
Asking for advice or but no one can say to you that is categorically the wrong or right decision.
Yes.
It's not up to them, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And whatever you choose to do is the right decision for you at the time.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to go through what people have said. So Bryony put, anytime you intentionally make an effort to pursue someone else online, text or in person.
Yeah. If you're making that conscious decision,
like you are actively going after someone, and yeah. And do you know what? I would think that would be worse if they were, having flirty and meaningful conversations as well as cheating, as opposed to a one night stand.
Yes.
I think I'd be more hurt by the first one.
Yeah, if they're like going about, I don't know, confiding in someone else.
Yeah. And again, I do want to say there's no right or wrong.
No.
It is your personal thing on this. There is no right or wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand this one. It was 3 words, but we've got lying about colleagues. No. Like
unless they mean they've said
because if they're lying about colleagues, what are they lying about? Is it that you've asked them about someone, then they've lied about it? Because to me, that's they've got something to hide.
Yes.
Or is it they just haven't told you about someone because it hasn't come up, it hasn't been necessary to come up in conversation?
Yeah.
There's loads of and it's hard without context on that one, personally.
Unless they're saying like say for example you're obviously married and then they're making out that the person is not the person who they actually are. Do you know what I mean? Like pretending that this person is, instead of, say for example, you're in a boy-girl relationship and they're saying that the girl that they're working with is actually a boy, and they're lying about that.
Right, yeah. So yeah, if you're so dependent on what sex you're attracted to. Right, yeah. So say if you're attracted to 2 men and you say that a man is a woman.
Yes.
Or if you're attracted to females, you're saying that female is a man. Right, got you. Yeah. Yeah,
and they're making out, you know.
But I just think, why would you lie about colleagues?
Well, like you said,
that's weird.
Probably have something to
hide. Me, yeah. To me, that screams you've got something to hide. And then Charlie put, anything you hide from your partner on your phone could be cheating. If you hide it, it's wrong.
If you've got something, if you start hiding things, yeah.
And literally, there was like 10 of them. Anything that they can't share with you or hide from you, messages, calls, meetups, anything like that. And I must say, the majority of them were that. And I do agree. If you have something that you're having a conversation with the sex that you're attracted to and you're hiding that from your partner, why are you hiding it from your partner? I had like a blast from the past ex call me at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was about a year ago, actually. And me and Josh were cracking up about it because I have nothing to hide.
No.
Like this guy, I was like, I woke him up and I was like, why the fuck is this person calling me? And he was like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? So no, it's weird.
I mean, if you are messaging someone else and you have to hide those messages because you consciously know
that it's
that what you're
flirty
saying
or
is wrong, then yes.
But even if you're saying, oh, well, I don't think I've said anything wrong. Well, you obviously do know you've said something wrong because you're hiding it. I would be really interested to hear of people's opinions on this.
Yeah, and, you know...
And please note, that is what they are. Personal opinions, not fact.
Yeah, and, you know, what we're saying is just what... Opinions, yeah. I mean, it is so difficult because, you know, for example, I think the first one that you said, intentionally making an effort to pursue someone, that is someone literally, you know, going
You're
out...
not happy in the relationship, fucking leave. Like,
yeah.
You're
Don't
pursuing
hurt someone in the process.
You're pursuing someone else. And I will never, ever understand, right, if you are not happy in a relationship that you're going out to be with someone else or you don't care about them. Why? I don't understand the logic. Why are you still with that person? Spare them the dignity and the heartache to say, this isn't working for me anymore.
Yeah.
But then I was watching Lost, right? And it was the wife basically, a patient kissed Dak, one of the main guys in it, and he went back and his wife said something and he went, she kissed me. Okay. That, to me, that's not cheating. I mean, the act was cheating, but she kissed him and he openly said it, right? Like he kissed her back, which is cheating, but you know, he's admitted it. Not that I condone it. Again, I need I just want to clarify. I don't agree with it, but I'm not very good with
to cancel ourselves.
I'm not very good with expressing words like that. But then she turned around and she went, I've met someone else and I'm seeing someone else. I'm leaving. She has been cheating on him. She's been having an affair. But he had an alcohol addiction, right? And she was trying everything she could to support him and to help him. And she was worried that it would, you know, tip him over further and stuff like that. Is what she did is wrong and she cheated, but also I can understand it.
See, I love that you've brought that up. So, if anybody's watched Rivals, I know I bang on about it all the time, but I have never ever, and I hope someone can relate to me on this, I have never ever rooted for an affair as much as I have on Rivals, right? So, there's two couples, and one of which the wife is very controlling of Freddie. Like with what he eats, she's not very, you know, intimate with him. She puts him down all the time.
I hate controlling people in relationships.
Yeah, she puts him down all the time, makes him feel awful.
I think that is worse than cheating, in my opinion, because you are literally taking control and managing someone's life and literally making them feel like crap.
Yeah. So she is very much like that with him. And then the other couple, the husband literally has completely forgotten about the wife, puts her down, like she tries to be intimate with him and he turns around and goes, you're not 22 anymore, put that away. And just makes her feel awful.
People are gross.
Tells her to watch what she eats, tells her to watch what she drinks. And they kind of, the man and the woman, the wife and the husband of opposite couples, fuck off, bonded. And they kind of clicked, and you can see that they suit so much better
Yeah.
than what they're in. And I
But
think
that's different, right? Because
yes,
it's not different in the sense it's still cheating. We all know that's
Yes.
cheating, right?
yes,
But again, it's like it's so hard because it's a toxic relationship.
Yes.
But again,
It's-
just leave.
yeah,
But it's hard when, especially if you're in a controlling relationship, trying to leave that. It's such a controversial, and I know we keep saying it, personal opinion, and
yeah,
it is all based on boundaries. What are your boundaries? Because
Mhm.
I mean, look at it. You've got swingers who enjoy, swapping and
Yeah.
changing, and that works well for them. But to me, I could never. That to me is cheating.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. No,
It's not cheating, even it's not cheating because they're both consenting to it.
Yes,
But I would feel cheated on.
yeah. I ain't
Yeah.
fucking watching him do someone else.
Oh yeah, I know.
No way.
So yeah, that is interesting. But on that note, I think we should hear from our specialist relationship counsellor.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. It is really lovely to be joining you all today, and I'm really excited to be here and have the opportunity to participate in today's podcast episode, which is, of course, all about what we consider cheating to look like. So just to give you a bit of background information briefly about who I am and why on earth, as this randomer, I am here. My name is Emily Caddy. I am a relationship counsellor, so I work with couples and individuals, work with them to help them with their relationships from any kind of issue you could imagine. That is my job, that is my role, and I absolutely adore it. I think it is the greatest privilege to be trusted by either a couple or an individual to help them with whatever relationship issues they may be facing. And I trained in-house and worked for Relate for 8 years. So Relate, if you don't know, are the National Relationship Counselling Organisation. And then during my time there, I also set up my own relationship counselling private practice. So I became self-employed and worked for myself and set that up. So that's Start Point Relationship Counselling. And I did the two simultaneously for a while, and then once I had built up enough of a client base, I then started exclusively working for myself. So I've been in private practice now for over 6 years, and I have been a relationship counsellor for over 10 years. And also in the midst of those things, I worked at my local rape, sexual abuse and domestic violence counselling crisis service. So I was there for a few years because DVA is often a very common presentation in relationships, working with a lot of survivors, working with a lot of perpetrators, and it was something I felt so passionately about. So I got extra expertise in that area, and that is one of my subspecialisms, working with those who have suffered from historical rape, sexual or domestic violence and abuse. So that's just briefly a little bit about me professionally. Also, I am a military spouse. I am a Royal Navy wife, and where I'm based near Portsmouth, where I was working at Relate for 8 years. I worked with a lot of Royal Navy and Royal Marine partnerships, because Relate has funded contracts with all of the armed forces, or certainly did during my time, also including the Army and the Air Force. I think they then lost the Army and Air Force contracts to another bidder. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the case. In case anyone was looking to access, definitely worth checking. But that was the situation when I left. But the funded pot for people in the RN and RM section of the military is still very much there and active for people to access funded sessions if they could benefit from them. So just to put that out there.
That's really interesting because I didn't know
No,
that you could get funded.
no, I had no
Sessions.
idea about that either.
That's really interesting.
So we are looking today at what counts as cheating, or what do we all view as cheating. And as a relationship counsellor, I have to say cheating, affairs, infidelity, being unfaithful, whatever semantic term you want to use, is one of, if not the most common presentations I see in my therapy room as a relationship counsellor. So for me, it is the stuff of every day in terms of my clients. And with regards to this question, what constitutes as cheating, I'm so glad a podcast is looking at this and talking about it, because I think so many people wrongly assume that we all share a similar viewpoint on this. But actually, in my years of talking to various clients, hearing their stories, I know it can be a very different picture from different personal perspectives. So I think probably it isn't too bold a statement to say that unless you're in an acknowledged open or polyamorous relationship, most people recognise full-blown sex with another person as being cheating, as crossing that line. But I think it might be a surprise to a lot of us that actually the rest can be perceived as being quite a grey area. And I always say to couples, one of my top tips is when you are starting out in a partnership, just, when you're at those early stages and you're trying to work out and establish how you get on, how you click, what you agree on, are you aligned with your morals, your ethics, your interests, your values, all that kind of stuff. Where do they stand on the boundaries of the relationship, and where do they stand with regards to the notion of what is and is not acceptable within the context of a third party coming into that space of the relationship. And so often there is either no communication or a miscommunication.
I think that's so important. And I think nowadays that is missed
Yes.
a lot because it is, like she said, a grey area. It's a personal boundary thing, and it can be a bit of an awkward conversation, especially if you're first trying to get to know people or the other person. Bringing that up to be like, these are my boundaries, and it can. I can totally understand, and I think that is missed a lot at the start of relationships. I can honestly say me and Josh never had that conversation.
No, recently I didn't.
Yeah. It was just kind of, you do kind of assume,
Yeah.
but then you can't, because it is, again, so personal.
Yeah, their boundaries are completely different to, the other person's boundaries.
100%.
Communication early on, and I always use the phrase prevention is better than cure. So I know it might feel a bit awkward, but I would certainly recommend that very early on, after meeting somebody, perhaps not on the first date, but early on, you just ascertain where their head is at with that, because it is much easier to bottom things out in those initial stages, either stating your position and happily realising that the other person is in agreement about what is or is not acceptable behaviour within a relationship, or recognising that there might be a discrepancy between those two opinions. If that's the case, is there a way to happily and agreeably compromise? Or if you then come to the conclusion that actually you're not aligned with that, and what sort of behaviour expect from each other with regards to other people, then perhaps that is then a point in time where you say, this isn't quite for me and I'm not going to pursue this dynamic. So I would always say prevention is better than cure, if at all possible, because it probably would surprise you that the amount of people I have in the therapy room where they've come along and one person might think, okay, what I did wasn't great, wasn't my finest hour, but I certainly don't class it as cheating, whereas the other person is absolutely distraught and heartbroken and has had the whole world ripped out underneath them because they think that act has indeed been representative of cheating. So working with...
And I think that's really important, that just because someone else doesn't view what you perceive as cheating doesn't make your feelings any less valid, because
No.
it has affected you and hurt you, and it's what you classify as it.
Yeah, and they can't, that person who's done it can't disregard, because their opinion is, no, it's not. They can't disregard that to the other person.
Yeah,
and
because there's no right or wrong.
No, and
Well,
make
there is
out
wrong,
that
but-
there is, yeah, and make out that that person could potentially be overreacting, because
To them, it's
it's
a big deal.
It's legit.
Mm.
It's valid.
Yeah.
To people where they're not even quite seeing it as the same thing can then make that reunion and coming back together, if indeed that is what they both want, quite difficult. And also it is an added layer of pain into the equation, which is, you know, going to already be a painful experience for both parties because something difficult has cropped up for them. But in a lot of those cases, a bit of communication in advance could have made it crystal clear about what you both feel regarding acceptable behaviours. So coming back to the question about what constitutes a cheating, I think it is a really grey area. I will stand by what I said earlier, in that I think for the vast majority of us, unless we have a label on our relationship dynamic that indicates that we are happy for other people to come into that dynamic in whatever form that looks like, full-blown sex would be considered as cheating. However, I think particularly in this day and age where social media is so prevalent in all of our lives, I think that has also opened up a huge space for other behaviours to take place where there might well be more of a discrepancy about what is counted as cheating and what is counted as maybe not great but okay, and what is counted as, you know, it means absolutely nothing. So just a few that are on the top of my head, and these...
And that is another thing as well, because you see this type of thing on you know, Facebook, TikTok, of liking pictures of other girls
Yeah.
or other, you know, or other men.
Yeah.
But
And some people view that as cheating.
yeah,
And to me, I mean, probably piss me off a little bit.
yeah,
But I also don't check.
no,
But that again comes down to that personal relationship.
yeah.
I know some people that share locations and they're like, where are they? Where is this? And that's just because that's what makes them feel comfortable. But for me, I just don't look at those things.
I think it all depends as well on how secure you are. I think that's a massive
If you've been
factor.
hurt before.
If you've been hurt before, that can also contribute to trust issues in the next relationship.
100%.
Or even if it's been in the same relationship and you've continued the relationship but the trust issues are still there, and then they're liking pictures, it's like, it's, you know. So it is, again, it's so difficult, but it's all based on opinion. But I have seen like a lot of women on TikTok, and they get very upset with their partners liking pictures of other girls, and I get their point. It is a bit shit, because like if you're like going through, or you're on your partner's phone or whatever, and you see that they've liked a picture, or even if it comes up on your phone and it says this person has liked a picture of a girl that looks, I don't know, nothing like you,
I struggle with that.
it's like, okay, you know. So I get their point on
when
it.
they talk about like their celebrity crushes and stuff, and you're like,
See, I don't mind celebrity crushing.
I don't mind it,
Yeah.
but at all, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I've got loads of celebrity crushes, and me and Josh compare them. Like, it doesn't matter. But I must admit, sometimes if, like, Josh says Scarlett Johansson is his celebrity crush, and I'm like, she's got like short blonde hair, well, she's got like red hair now. She's absolutely tiny. She's beautiful, and I'm just like,
yeah.
like it, and I'm a bit like, oh well, I'm not like that. But then
Yeah.
again, he's married to me and not Scarlett Johansson. So, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but it's still, it doesn't bother me, and I don't consider it unfaithful or anything,
No.
because I have it, but I think it still has that little effect of, well, I don't look like that.
Yeah. I mean, Reese's is Nigella Lawson.
Oh.
I don't know. And Kelly Brook.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Mine's Chloe.
Yeah. But no, Reese loves Nigella Lawson and Kelly Brook.
And they're both brunette.
And they're both brunette. And I mean, they're lovely, curvy, big boobs, big bums. I get it.
Always suggested lists that I suggest people to have a think about if they're trying to work out where they sit with things. So interaction over social media. So if we're thinking Instagram, I'm not a great social media user. It won't surprise you to know my technological ability very lacking. But Instagram, I know there are other forms of social media on there. Snapchat, I think, is one. But likes, comments.
Red flag, not necessarily cheating. Red flag, when you're starting out a relationship and they won't give you WhatsApp or phone number, they're just like, what's your Snapchat?
Oh yeah, I never really got into the Snap. It used to frustrate you, didn't it?
You were with Reese since the 1800s, so it probably wasn't around.
Yeah, but no, like neither of us really. I mean, Reese has never had. I think Reese.
I deleted mine.
Reese, when it first came out, we both got Snapchat, and then neither of us used it. He ended up deleting it after like a friggin' day.
Yeah.
And I kept it, but I never used it because it used to frustrate you. You would send me Snapchat, and I'd never use it.
And then I stopped using it.
Yeah.
Because it's like I just send you the picture on WhatsApp.
I feel a bit old to be using Snapchat.
Yeah.
Not that, if anyone's
Josh
declaring.
Josh uses Snapchat to talk to his little sister.
Yeah.
Because they like her, and she's 13. She's like at the age where it's like, you get the streaks on there, where you like message for a certain amount of days, and they have like one of those going, and I was just like, yeah, it's not for me. But yeah, that again, Snapchat is dangerous because you've got the disappearing messages.
See, I didn't even know it had disappearing messages.
Yeah, disappearing messages, and it notifies the other person if you save the chat or screenshot it.
Where do you sit with that? Also, OnlyFans, of course, consumption of OnlyFans content. Where does that sit on people's various boundaries? So I think that's a really important consideration. Similarly, perhaps to OnlyFans, or certainly an overlap, the use of pornography. How does that feel for different people? Really important.
I'm really glad she's brought it up as well, about porn and everything, because it is something that you see more and more of people asking for advice on, and you see it on Reddit and things like that. But I rarely see people actually openly talk about it.
How do you mean?
In terms of what they if they consider porn cheating.
I've seen quite a few, to be honest.
What, like in a situation like this?
In a situation like this. I've seen like comments on.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen people asking for advice in comments, but I've never seen
not like
people
this.
like a podcast or content creators or anything like that having the discussion.
No.
And if there is, I want to listen to what they think of it.
Yes.
So please let us know.
Think about things like that. Sexting, going to strip clubs, again.
Going to strip clubs.
Forget about that. Because that is such a boundary thing as well. Some like to go with them.
Yeah.
Like, just, some women like...
That's date night.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah. I mean, not going to lie, I'd be interested to just see what it's about.
I just love seeing how beautiful the women are. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm like, I want your bum.
Yeah,
I've only been to one, but
honestly, I'd be like Rachel and Phoebe in Friends, and Monica. No, Monica.
Give me
and Phoebe.
that recipe.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah.
But putting the dollars in their thongs and stuff. I would do that.
So stag do. Get it. Totally get it. If they're all out, and I think this is a conversation, and this is very controversial, and people might come for me on this, but I think it needs to be brought up. There is a big stigma around military serving personnel on R&R or on tour when they're away, ending it or going to a strip club with the lads?
Yes.
Do you consider that cheating? Are they lying about going, or are they saying, the lads and I are going to a strip club, do you mind? Or do you know what I mean? Or are they lying about going? If you're lying about going, you know that it's going to upset your partner. So that essentially, I wouldn't say, dependent on what, if you're just there and you're watching the dancers and you're having a drink, I wouldn't say that's cheating.
Yes.
But if you're lying, you're being untruthful.
Yeah. And now this is something else that I've also seen come up is, and it was actually on TikTok, is this was a conversation, and this particular girl was a dancer, and but it was an American strip club, so I don't know how true it is for British ones. I don't know if
I
it
would also like to
happens.
clarify. Sorry, this is my thing. Just before we move on, I would like to clarify. I don't mean that all military people serving go to strip clubs or on R&R. I've just heard it a lot.
Yeah. And this particular girl was an American stripper, and she was saying that there are some strip clubs where when they go, now this is another thing,
Down the corridor
for a lap dance. Lap dance, I consider as cheating.
Okay, yeah.
Because that sorry, I don't want someone else's vagina and tits in your face.
No, true.
Right?
I don't either. But what about, because like on stags when you get a stripper that does like all the fat, it's a bit cringy and corny. Would you consider that cheating? Because that's a bit more, it's not like a proper stripper. It is, but it's a bit more fun and what it's weird.
Know.
It's
hard.
hard.
I mean, because I've seen videos of some of these particular stags. Not particular.
I watched the Gavin and Stacey. I watched the Gavin and Stacey, like the latest one, for the first time, really late to the party, and they get a stripper for Sonia. And they're all like loving it and think it's like really cringy and fun. Whereas she's like, I don't want to objectify men.
Yeah.
Which I do understand.
Yeah.
Again, no right or wrong. Some people are into it, some people aren't. But is it considered cheating in your eyes?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, because some of the videos that you see like come out, for example, there was one video, it was quite an old one, and the guy was sat on the chair, and the lady was on her hands and positioned her no underwear area there, and I was just a bit like, what, like,
Bit far.
that's a bit far.
But then I really want to go to Magic Mike, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but no, I mean naked lady bits.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want your foofy in my man's face.
No. So I think it's just what
Subjective.
goes down.
Yeah. Oh, I'm loving this.
Often I find when I work with clients, it's very context dependent. So someone might be, okay, maybe not over the moon, but perfectly accepting of the fact that their partner, let's assume in just this situation, it is a female who's staying at home and the male has gone out to a strip club. He's gone on his friend's stag do, let's say. They might be quite accepting of that, but if they're there every Friday night, maybe not so much. So I think often there is a lot of context to these situations. Similarly, like pornography, it might be that you have an agreement that together that's something that you watch and enjoy and consume jointly to add a bit of spice to your couple dynamic, but doing that on your own is not so much within the context of your relationship. And I think that's the main thing I want to stress. It doesn't really matter what any other relationship or partnership is doing to the left or right of you. Everyone is very, very different, but it is what works for the two of you, and it is what you have agreed to and discussed, which is where I say, that communication is so important. If we then think of moving away from more electronic forms of potential cheating-based scenarios, if we think more face-to-face in a conventional sense, so friendly flirtation interactions when the partner isn't present. So either with a previously known person or an unknown person. So I guess typical things where dynamics like this can start off is in the workplace. You know, maybe you've got a particularly good work buddy friend, and then that extends to spending lunch hour with them, etc., etc. So where is the personal parameter with that? Where is the couple parameter with that? On nights out, so these might be strangers that you're encountering, complete strangers, and have no intention of seeing them again, but what kind of interaction is viewed as being acceptable by each party? Or if, say, you're on a lad's holiday or a girl's holiday, similarly, what is expected and hoped for from the partner who is absent? And then I think also another really interesting one to point out is maybe a connection with somebody that doesn't necessarily have a sexual element, or if there is a sexual element, it hasn't moved into that sexual element stage quite yet, but it is an emotional connection. So that might be texting frequently, sort of saying what you're doing in your day, those little intimate updates about, oh, I'm having a really good day, or it's going badly, or I'm looking forward to doing this. Just that sort of regular contact with somebody that you might hope for from a partner, but that has been given to somebody else, so you're having that interaction with somebody else. And as I say, it doesn't have to move into the flirtation, and I think this is where it can be quite a tricky one, and a lot of people call it emotional affairs. That's the terminology they use, and I think wrongly people assume that just because no sex in this specific instance has not taken place, that does not mean it can't be equally, or even in a different way, but equally as damaging in terms of trust and that sense of betrayal. And I've actually had a lot of people say that the thought of their partner being connected with someone on an emotional and intimate level, maybe talking about their fears, their hopes, their goals, difficult things from their past, would be harder to digest, comprehend and understand and move past than if someone just had sex with someone in a drunken one night stand sense.
And I think there's stuff that as a couple, there's
There's a deep emotional connection
there, and there's stuff that you know about each other as a couple that no one else knows. And if that particular, one person of the couple was going to and went and divulged that to someone else, when it's always just been you two knowing that information, that it would, I can imagine that it would hurt, because it's like, well, hang on, I was that person, now you're going to that person.
Yeah, the element of feeling special and like that only person is betrayed, essentially.
Yeah, unless it's in a professional environment. Do you know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah, got you.
But to just some randomer, if that's the word I can use.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
And then, just very briefly, because I don't want to digress too much, and I'm well aware this isn't my podcast, I'm just doing a little segment. From a relationship therapist point of view, just in case this is of use or interest to anybody, what do we then do when people have presented with a cheating situation to us? Well, firstly, in the first instance, it might be, as I said earlier, that presentation where one person feels it is categorically an affair or they've been cheated on, and the other person isn't quite in agreement with that. Now, in that instance, the first piece of work is trying to get them to be aligned and in their thinking. Now, even if that doesn't mean they quite then see it in the same way, it's that recognition, at least, that hurt has been caused, a boundary has been crossed, even if they're not prepared to put the same semantic terminology on it, understanding the weight of it and what position that has then put the relationship in. So it's about making sure that there's enough, as what we as therapists call a shared agenda, because when you're doing couple work without a shared agenda, it is very, very tricky. You have to have a shared goal, a shared hope, and a shared understanding to a degree of what the issue is, with any hope of trying to move forward and rectify it. Hopefully that makes sense. So that would be the first step in that situation. If you're coming at it from the other angle and you have two people coming into the room and they're saying, you know, this has happened, and they are using the same semantic terms and do realise that it has that same weight and the same consequence to it. Again, it's about establishing that shared agenda. What are they hoping to gain from the time with me as the therapist? What is the mutual desire? Is there a mutual desire to heal? Is there a mutual desire to work on things? Because very sadly, if we're looking at type 2 of the affair cheating scenario, sometimes the person who has been found to be doing the affair or the cheating doesn't actually want to re-establish things, doesn't want to repair, because for them, they have already checked out of the relationship. And then that can be like a double whammy of hurt and pain on the other party, because not only didn't they know about the affair and cheating, they didn't know or understand that the other person had checked out and was feeling how they were feeling about the relationship in the first place. So that can be really difficult for them to navigate. So firstly, you have to establish that they're both wanting to make the relationship work. If that is the case, and then they are wanting to make it work, then it's about thinking about how can we re-establish trust? What do we need to do to rebuild this? As I said earlier, what was or wasn't going on between the two of you to allow room for this third entity to come into the equation. So it's about having understanding about sort of the circumstances surrounding the situation, but also not torturing the person who's on the receiving end, not torturing themselves in knowing every little detail, because sometimes that just isn't possible and actually arguably isn't that helpful. It can just be more and more painful. So it's about thinking about how you're going to rebuild that trust, understanding what led to that happening in the first place, seeing what needs to be done to prevent that moving forward, what can be done differently, which again plays very well into that re-establishing of trust. Renegotiating the relationship contract and the relationship boundaries. So that sounds very formal, but essentially just touching base and seeing, you know, were we on the same page originally? Okay, we were. It's gone a bit awry from what we'd originally agreed. Are we happy with the original relationship contract and boundaries, or do we need to amend that maybe in this particular period of time for recovery, just to help rebuild the trust? So for example, let's say and that is very much client led, you know, one thing is not going to work for all people. It's very much client led in terms of what feels comfortable and safe for them. So just an example, say someone had been caught let's say DMing somebody on social media, so then it might be, okay, well, the partner has requested, in order to help me rebuild my trust, I would like to have knowledge of who your contacts are on social media and who you are contacting on social media. And some partners are going to be okay with that. Going to go say, great, yes, we can open up those our communications, and we can be open and show each other who we're communicating with. Other people might not be so keen on that at all. Now, it might be that in some instances they just don't want their privacy invaded as they perceive it, if that hasn't been a previous guideline.
Not disagreeing with what she's saying, disagreeing with the person saying that's an invasion of privacy. Well, you broke that trust line, in my opinion.
Yes.
With regards to the relationship before, it might be they have nothing tied whatsoever, but that just feels like that's too much. Or it might well be that they are hiding something and don't want to have that. But either way, it's, as you can probably understand from this, it's a very delicate process of understanding if any amendments are going to be made with regards to the boundaries of the relationship moving forward. It's all about working out what that looks like, and that has to work well for both parties. And again, I stress, something that you might put in place in the immediate aftermath of something like this is not necessarily going to be something that you're still doing a couple of months, a couple of years down the line, let's say, as an example. But I will sign off for there. I really hope some of this has been useful, and thank you so much for listening. Take care for now. Bye.
What a lovely lady.
So sweet.
Oh, I wish we could have, like, it was very last minute because
Yeah.
Emily, she saw our post on the podcast page and was like, sent me like a long message about it from a relationship coach therapist point of view. And I was like, oh, like, if you've got any insight and you want to record it and you want us to include it, please do, because I think it'd be really useful. And that was really useful.
Yeah, she was really like knowledgeable and
yeah,
that was brilliant. And the way that she worded things was kind of allowed
not
you
how
to
me and you blurted out.
no,
Yeah,
but different kind of perspectives to on how things were viewed and yeah, no, that was really interesting.
yeah, 100%. So thank you so much,
Yes, thank you.
Emily, and we will include all of Emily's details in this description. So go and give her a follow and support her page. And if you need to reach out, then I definitely think she definitely knows her stuff and could be of support to you.
And how calming was she to listen to
Yeah,
as
she
well?
was. Like, you can definitely see people opening up to her because
Yes.
she's very, even she's not even here and we're listening to a recording.
Yeah.
It's great. So on that note, we will be not doing Reddit of the week again, but we will have released a bonus Reddit in between this one and our last one. So we will be back to normal. These are the past two episodes are two really important subjects to cover, and they're interesting and people want to know the answers, they want the views. So we want to make sure that we're capturing that for you without going on for 3 hours.
And they're good talking point ones as well.
100%, yeah. So please let us know your thoughts. Email us any questions or advice.
Yes.
Don't know how good our advice is, but
We'll give it a bash.
We're a friend for any of you that may need it. Have you got an ick? Ick. It's ick of the week. Do you know what mine is? I'm going to go in and do you know what? I think you might agree with this. So this could be a combined ick because this is a long episode. If you're not happy in your relationship and you have not openly spoken to it and you're going behind your partner's back, ick.
Yeah.
Communicate, talk. You don't need to continuously cheat and be unfaithful because if you're not happy, you're not happy.
No. And
that's my ick.
Do you know what? On the topic of this, and I'm not. This isn't just a cop out. You may view it as a cop out. I knew she was going to do that, but I'm going to have to agree with that because that is so valid.
Yeah.
To this subject.
And I think yeah, it goes well.
Yeah, goes without saying.
Yeah, not goes well.
I think that's what you meant.
For me again. Yeah. So we love you all. Have a fantabulosa week. Please reach out. You know where we are, and we will be back next Monday. Again. Back again. Padwives back.
You fucked it.
Tell a friend. I did because I got confused. But yeah, have we decided the next 2 episode topics? Probably, but shock, I can't remember. But anyways, on that note, guys, have a fabulous week. We love you all as always. Padwives out.